Dear learners, welcome back. This is the third video of the third week, and in this we would be discussing journal, ledger and trial balance, that is the final accounts, and in the next part we would be discussing the capital expenditures, the assets, the types of assets, etc. Now this is the part of unit 3 of management functions, and in this since you've already learned how to do the accounting part in earlier two videos, in this we would be discussing what is a journal, what is a ledger and what is a trial balance, and how the final accounts are prepared and what is the importance of the final accounts for an NGO. We all know that each and every organization, they need to keep certain kinds of records, and we have seen it in earlier cases also when we did the legal procedures, the office documentations, and we studied basics of accounting. We have seen that there is a requirement for keeping a proper book or proper accounts so that the funds are managed in a proper manner. Because we know that NGOs, they are fund based, they generate funds through external sources also. If they are not a company and there is no particular kind of an investment, so in that case the expenditure has to be maintained in a proper format. And the other important issue is that they have to produce the audited accounts while filing the returns also, so while filing the income tax returns for the NGO. So that is why it is very important to understand these basic nuances of accounting. Now starting with the journal. When we talk about books of accounts, the organizations, they do require to keep a record of their day-to-day business transactions, and these records, they help them in determining the financial results of business operations. That is why they are specifically referred to as books of accounts. So when we talk about books of accounts, there are two kinds of books of accounts. One is the journal and other is the ledger, and they are the foundation for final accounts. So that is why it is very important to know the meaning of journal and the ledger and how the accounting is done in these books. The illustrations are given in the self-learning material, so we'll just see the basics of journal and ledger. Now when we talk about journal, it has been derived from a French word jour, which means a day. So all financial transactions are first recorded in a journal. That means the journal means day-to-day transactions are being recorded in a specific kind of a book which is known as a journal. So these transactions are recorded in order of date and occurrence. Like if today is December 4th, if we say December 4th or December 3rd or whatever the date may be. So if some activity happens on December 3rd, it will be accounted for on December 3rd and how they have happened. Say at a particular point of time, one activity has happened, at a particular point of time, other activity has happened on the same date. So the counting is kept in that manner. So transactions are recorded in a chronological order and they are referred to as original book of entry. So that is very important to understand. In journal, the transactions are recorded as entries, and these entries are specifically made using the rules of debit and credit. Debit and credit we have already seen, and there are different kinds of accounts also. We have seen it in the earlier sessions, so you have to go back to the earlier sessions to realize what is a debit and credit and how the accounts are classified. Like what is the real account, what is the personal account, what is the nominal account, because all these things, they will come in journal also. And each journal entry should have at least two accounts, one for debit and one for credit. Now that is a common rule for accounting, that it has to have two entries. One is for debit and one is for credit. Now this is a typical format of a journal, and based on this the journal entries are being done. So if you see that the tabular form contains the date, a particular date, the particulars, then there is a LF, that is the ledger folio, which we will be discussing later, and on the left hand side that is debit and the other part is credit. Now in this case the rupees symbol, you can use it in the Indian format, the latest symbol which has to be used for rupees. So when we say date, suppose it is 3rd of December, so you can write 03/12/2020. Now particulars you have to write, DR is mentioned for debit and CR for credit. So you have to mention that debit account with so much of rupees to credit account with so much of rupees, and the account may vary. It can be a real account, it can be a personal account, it can be a nominal account. You have to understand what kind of an account. So I am not giving those details here because they have already been covered. So here you will see what is how the entries are made. So if the second entry is also on the 3rd of December, but then you can write 3rd December 03/12/2020, it's like date, month and year, and then the second entry, that is debit account to so and so to credit account to so and so. So this is how the accounts are mentioned in a format of a journal. Now when we come to the types of journal, these are the different types of journal. We have around 6 types of journals. One is the purchase book, the second is the sales book, third is the return inward, fourth is the return outward, fifth is the cash book, and sixth is the general ledger. We'll see these different types of journals in a short while, and we'll understand that what kind of book has to be used for a particular type of the entry, the accounting entry which is being done. Suppose the purchase book is being used, that means all the purchases are to be recorded in the format of a journal in that book. Similarly for sales, similarly for returns coming in, similarly which are returns going out, similarly the cash and the general ledger. Now when we see the types of journals, in the purchase book it is basically used to record the details of credit purchases. That means something which has been purchased on credit or on you have borrowed the money, borrowed the purchases on some amount. So those things are recorded in the credit purchases, and this is recorded in the purchase book. When we talk about the sales book, now this is used to record the details of credit sales, sales which have been done on credit. So that is being recorded in the sales book. When we talk about the return inward, it is used to record the transaction where goods are returned by the customers. The customers, they return the goods, and then the transactions are being recorded. Now we are discussing the entries or the accounting procedures for corporate houses. Some things may not be applicable for NGOs, but some things, major things are applicable for NGOs. So it is the applicability, how the NGOs, they need to formulate their own journal entry as per the desired need or the requirement of that particular NGO. Like purchase book is always there, like in case of return outward also, that can be applicable for NGO. And if it is a company and some sales are happening, then sales book and return inward is also included in that kind of a journal. So when we talk about the return outward, it is used to record the transaction where goods are returned to the suppliers if they are not in good condition. So this is a format. Now coming to the cash book. So when we see the cash book, it is used to record the transactions where cash is paid or received. So receipt of any kind of cash is being recorded in that particular time of journal. So general journal is used to record transactions which are not recorded in any kinds of the journal books we have just gone through. So this is what we know about the different types or different kinds of journals, and it depends on the organizations what kind of journals they require. There are small organizations, they just use the cash book in the general journal. So that is why it is up to the organization to decide what kind of journal entry they need to keep in for recording purpose. Now coming to the other part. The term ledger is derived from Dutch word leger, which means a book which has different accounts. I may have pronounced the word in a different manner, but how the Dutch pronounce a particular kind of a word. So this ledger is used for the word ledger. So a ledger account is basically a summary statement, and it includes all details of all transactions which are related to a particular account, such as revenue, income, asset, liability, expenses or equity. An organization has to maintain ledger accounts for all the accounts with which an organization deals. So that is why it is important to know what is a ledger. Ledger is also called as a final book because all the entries, they are entered into a journal and then posted into the ledger account. And ledger accounts are closed at the end of the year. We have talked about the financial year. So in different countries, different parts of the countries, the financial year may be starting from a different date, but in India it starts from April 1st till March 31st of the next year. That is when the ledger accounts need to be closed at a particular period of time. So closing balance of ledger accounts, they are transferred into trial balances, and trial balance is the final account. So ledger accounts are referred to as final books of accounts. So that is very important. Now this is the format of a ledger account, and ledger account you can see on the left hand side there is a debit, on the right hand side you can see it is a credit. So when we talk about the date is in terms of year, month and day. So if it's 3rd of December, then it would be like 2020/12/03. Now in particulars you have to say to whom the money has gone, the amount, that is the debit amount, date, again the date is in the year format, and then again for the creditors, it has to be the particulars, by whom, and the amount is given, how much amount is there. So this is how the ledger account is prepared, to and by. To whom, by whom. This is the basic structure of ledger account. Now these are the features of a ledger account, and they are summarized in an analytical record of all transactions. They are secondary records because the primary record is the journal. That is why they are known as secondary record, and they are the summarized analytical records. And they contain all kinds of information related to all financial transactions of the organization, and that is why they are known as principal book, and it is called the permanent storehouse of all the transactions. So if an organization is having a proper ledger account, that means it is quite transparent with all its transactions and whatever is there in the ledger account. Now while preparing a ledger account, it is important to note that a ledger account has to be opened for each account which is found in a journal. That is why you'll find there is a ledger folio, that there is an LF in the journal entries. So for each journal entry there should be a ledger account, and all the entries have to be posted which is related to one account in chronological account. And every entry on the debit side should have a prefix to. Every entry on the credit side should have the prefix by. To whom? By whom. So there should be only one account for each account. For example, for all cash entries, there should be one cash account. For all sales entry, there should be one sales account. Similarly, for other accounts as well. Now, while preparing a ledger account, the opening balances of each ledger account should be brought down from previous year's closing balance and noted as balance brought down or balance forward. So it is known as balance forward. Basically it is known as balance forward, but meaning is balance brought down. That means from the previous entry the balance has been transferred to the current entry. So it is written B/F, that is balance forward. So similarly, closing balances of each account is closed with either to balance carried forward or by balance carried forward. So in that case, we carried forward word is used as C/F. So these are the short forms for using balance brought down and balance being carried forward. Now, while posting the ledger account, you can see the date is 10th December 2020, but it can be written as year format or month format, depends on the organization. Since we gave the format as year format, so we can write 2020/12/10. So it can be written as 10th December 2020 also. Now if we say particulars, so this is purchase account debit to cash account, and this is the amount given on and the ledger folio is mentioned as per the number. Now what does it interpret? It means that goods are purchased against cash of rupees 10,000. Cash account is credited, that means credit what goes out. Purchase account is debited, debit is all expenses. So here we are talking about different kinds of accounts, and the type of account is being mentioned. If you want to do a cross posting from journal to the respective ledger account, this is the way to do it. Again, if you see the ledger account, the date has been mentioned as 2020 October 10. The date is 2020. Any kind of date you can put 2020 October 10, and the particulars amount, that is the cash account. So we are mentioning only the credit part. For purchase account, we are mentioning only the debit account. So this is how the ledger accounts are posted from the journal entries. So you have date, then you have particulars by purchase account, then you have the amount. For purchase account, it is the debit part, so you have a specific date, the particulars are given to cash account, and the amount is being mentioned. So this is how the cross posting is done from journal account to the respective ledger accounts. Now let us see how to balance a ledger account. Now balancing a ledger account is very important. Now this is the process of finding out the difference between the total of the debit side and total of the credit side of an account. One has to ascertain whether a particular account has received more benefits than it has given, or has given more benefits than it has received. So finding out the difference between the two is important to understand whether there is a surplus or a deficit. Now coming to the trial balance. This is a summary of all balances of ledger accounts which are categorized into debits and credits, and it is useful in preparing the final accounts. All the balances of ledger accounts, they can be located at one place, and it helps in checking the arithmetical accuracy of that particular accounting procedure. It helps in locating errors also, and it helps in carrying out certain adjustments if required. So this is the importance of the trial balance for any organization, be it a profit-making organization or a not-for-profit making organization. Coming to the income and expenditure account. This includes the summary of all incomes or expenses for a particular period, and they are prepared by non-trading organizations. They are prepared on an accrual system of accounting, and they help in understanding the surplus or deficit, as I told you earlier, in the income. Expenses are always shown on the debit side, and incomes are always shown on the credit side. So profit and loss account is also prepared by the trading organization. Now coming to the final part, that is the balance sheet. As the name suggests, it is a kind of a sheet, accounting sheet, where the balances are mentioned and the debits and credits are balanced at the end of the financial year. So it is a significant financial statement of an organization, and through this one can know the health of the organization also. It provides all kinds of information about the financial position of an organization at a particular point of time. So because all the entries are mentioned, so one can understand that in which particular day or month or particular year the financial position of the organization has changed. Usually it is prepared at the year end. As I told you earlier also, it is the 31st March. The balance sheet along with the income and expenditure account, it gives a complete picture of an NGO. And the capital and liabilities are shown on the left side, while the assets are shown on the right hand side. Now we will discuss the capital and assets in the next session. These are some of the items of the balance sheet, and it can vary depending on the purchases, sales or cash book accounts maintained by the organization. First item is the funds employed, which includes the owner's fund, the designated fund, the restricted funds, the loans, which can be of secured nature, which can be of unsecured nature, and they are represented by fixed assets. These are the land, building, plant, machinery, vehicles, office equipment, computers, furniture, intangible assets of any kind. They also represent capital work in progress, investments that can be long-term investments, the current investments. They have the current assets, they have the closing stocks, receivables, bank balances, cash. They have the loans and deposits, advance to staff, advance to supplier, telephone deposits, electricity deposits, everything. And they have to subtract it from the current liabilities and the provisions of the particular organization. Now this is all about the journal, ledger and trial balance and how to prepare the final accounts. The illustrations are categorically mentioned in the self-learning material, that is the unit 3 of this part. So you can go through those illustrations and they keep on changing. You can see the examples later also. So thank you so much for this session.